Hashtag Dimitria MySpace.
Lambda.
It is almost New Year's Eve. I hope you had a lovely Christmas. I hope you got the best presents ever. I know I sure did. And I hope you have a lovely New Year. Pop that beer, drink it all down. Hope you have fun. Now we get into some bullshit, some real fucking primo garbage. We're gonna talk about the top 10 worst movies of the year. And by God, there were some bad ones. There's some on the top of the list that I don't even consider like I didn't like it, but there was stuff where it was kind of a letdown and whatnot. But there were some pretty bad ones. So why don't we just start? Number 10. Avengers Infinity War. I loved the first Avengers. One of the best superhero movies in my opinion. Phenomenal visual effects, lovely comedy, amazing action, beautifully paced, and I thought they balanced out this array of characters super well. And that is something that this movie seems to struggle with so much. There's so many characters in here. Now granted, people like Star-Lord, people like Spider-Man do end up getting a few laughs, but it ends up that very few characters get more than, 5 lines of dialogue. It ends up going through so many different locations. It's front-loaded as hell, which might seem like a good thing, but it actually ends up being detrimental to it. I didn't find the special effects so groundbreaking as they were in the first movie or in some of the other Marvel ones. It's not, delivering in the same way that the first movie did. I thought the comedy wasn't as good, the characters weren't as strong, and they're not as strong as they were in their solo movies. And honestly, I wasn't too big a fan of Thanos. There was something standard about his voice. I feel like, okay, it's kind of expected for him to sound like that. There was nothing super whoa about him, so I thought it was okay. Am I glad I saw it? I guess. But the thing is, I'm not gonna see Endgame, and the ending, they're not gonna do that in the later ones, and I feel like this is a franchise that is so super guilty of these fake outs, these cop outs, that it's like, they're not gonna do that. That's not gonna mean jack shit. There you go. I thought there was some good stuff. I thought it was okay. Next one. Ralph Breaks the Internet. Wow, I really wanted to see this after the first one, which is one of my all-time favorite animated films. When I saw it in the theater, I loved it, loved it, loved it. But in this one, it's like the characters are going through the same issues and inner conflicts again. And then this character who used to be kind of a dick and did dickish things, let's have him reverse a few arcs back. Let's have him do this dick thing, and then he needs to go back, reprimand himself, and go, I'm not a dick anymore. How do I do this so I undick myself? If that makes any sense. I didn't think the characters were as lively, as funny, as cleverly handled. The internet world building, like the whole, sort of thing, I didn't think it was particularly interesting. I think you could do so much more with the internet. And again, it's one of those movies where it's doing the bare minimum of satire. There's gonna be a few more of those. You could do a little bit more with the internet stuff. Some of it is even, why are we tackling this? What does this have to do with anything? Like the sort of thing they do with the hate comments. Though I did really love the Disney princess sort of bit. I thought that was really cool. But other than that, it's kind of eh. But anyway, number 8. Incredibles 2 after, 14 years. And this is, again, what I was talking about with Infinity War. It's like, this is no by means like a bad movie, but it's like, for waiting this long for something, you gotta be able to do better than this. I mean, come on. We have this villain. You're giving us this villain after 14 years. This is the best you could come up with? Are you shitting me? I will give it that this villain and one of the heroes, just for the sake of spoilers, do share a beautifully written scene. It's like something out of The Dark Knight. I was like amazed by how adult this conversation was. And once you find out who this person really is, that you know that they're the villain, which by the way happens in the first 5 minutes of meeting them, you're kind of like, really? We're doing this? And then their reason for it, the reason why they're doing these things, I'm like, are you shitting me? Like, really? This, after, again, 14 years, and you can't come up with something new. Like, not even just like clever or good, just new? Are you shitting me? But anyway, I think there's a lot of really good laughs in this. There's so many fun moments in this movie, and I think the animation is, it's gorgeous. It looks very colorful, very good, and the characters do feel as strong as the first movie, with the exception of Mr. Parr. But I think he's safe for a lot of laughs. But I think it kind of falls into that trap. Another movie's gonna do this, is that kind of deals with, you know, the child is mad at the parent, and then the parent has to decide that, you know, they were an asshole, and then they have to reconcile. This has been going on since like Hook. This has been going on since the 80s. I'm like, God, stop making these things. Stop making these cliches. I was really hyped to see it. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little disappointed. Definitely not the worst. Definitely not the worst. We will be getting to those. Insidious, The Last Key. I was really excited because I was thinking, oh, well, it's Insidious, but it's not directed by James Wan. What am I supposed to do? I love the first movie. One of the most terrifying movies I've ever seen. It kept me up at night for like years on end, scared the living daylights out of me. Second one was still really good. That was still by the original director, James Wan, which was excellent. I didn't think you really needed to go through the whole story arc of, you know, the scariest character I've ever fucking seen. I thought it was great. And then third one I thought was all right. I think the jump scares got a little bit grating in that one. And then you get to this one where the jump scares are exactly the same. I think it is one of those where, how many times have you seen this where, you know, this person is looking, goes to dead silence, boom. That is so annoying. That is the worst thing that isn't the fake jump scare. Whenever you do that, it's so fucking bad, and this movie does it a lot of times. The CGI on the monster is terrible. The monster is not scary in the slightest. I think it takes a little bit of the fear out of it, that instead of your father being abusive, no, it's just this big bad boogeyman, go and get him. Oh no, the dad was actually tortured. It's like, okay, that kind of just sucked out the whole inner struggle of this person you were setting up. Besides some good color and good lighting, I think it looks nice. They made it look pretty nice. I don't think the scares are as strong. The music is by far not as nice as the first two. Whenever you listen to that, like, you know, your hair stands up. But in this one, those are the things that are best going for it. But in terms of the monster, in terms of scares, and in terms of character, I don't think it works as well. It's definitely the worst. They should throw this series in the trash already, unless you're getting James Wan on the directing chair. Jurassic World Fallen fucking Kingdom. This is what I was talking about when we're just doing the exact same movie again. How many scenes in this goddamn piece of shit movie did you go, oh, that's from, you know, the first Jurassic Park. Oh, that looks like The Lost World. That looks like the first Jurassic World. I'm like, oh Christ. They'd use even the same camera work. They use the same shots, that overhead of the car going through. I'm like, oh Jesus Christ. God, the characters were annoying. I didn't even think the dinosaurs looked that great. The ending is a whole other, like, are you fucking serious? And Jeff Goldblum's totally wasted. There was no point in bringing him back just for your nostalgia goggles. It's a total waste of your fucking goddamn time. Do not see this movie. This is the first of the really shitty movies that are on my list. So do not see Fallen Kingdom. Just watch Jurassic Park 1 and even 3. I kind of like that one. But stay away from it. The Grinch. Oh my God. I went on and on about this movie in my review of it when it came out. Every single component, every single attribute of the filmmaking involved is awful. The voice acting, awful. The characters look ugly. The Grinch looks way too well groomed to be the Grinch. The city of Whoville looks so one-dimensional. Comedy is non-existent. It is dead in the snow, buried underneath it, and every single new opportunity it brings gives us nothing. Definitely, like I said in the review, watch the original thrice and you will be just fine. You will have a lovely Christmas. Even watch it before New Year's. It's that great of a piece of animation. And to fix my shitty thumbnail, here it is. Fuck you, Illumination. Widows, the new and quote-unquote improved Steve McQueen project. This is one of those movies that's kind of the epitome of Oscar bait. And this is one of those directors where he's not fishing for Oscars, where you watch, his stuff like Shame, you watch stuff like 12 Years a Slave. He's trying to be quiet here because he wants it to be quiet here. He wants the cinematography to look like this. He wants the color scheme to be kind of washed out here because it's all in his best intentions as a filmmaker. But in this one, no one is that interesting to watch. Everyone is sort of there to play this certain type of role. Like, there were some comedy elements. I'm like, oh, jeez, are you serious? Like, you're trying to shoehorn this in? Totally doesn't work. It's kind of like a shitty version of Ocean's 8 by the middle of it. And I say by the middle of it because I kind of walked out because it was so insufferably boring. I was falling asleep. Definitely don't see it if you are a fan of Steve McQueen's work. It's not as good. Just that one scene in 12 Years a Slave where they're singing by the grave, that's worth your $15 than seeing this movie in its entirety. Do not waste your time. Sexy Sweetheart Jason Momoa in Aquaman. This is the movie that made me pull the plug on superhero movies. I think Jason Momoa, to his credit, I think when he doesn't have to talk, I think when there's less dialogue in moments, like when he has that first attack on the submarine, I thought, okay, that was all right. I don't think the way he says these lines aren't working for me, and this movie's front-loaded as hell, and everyone is just awful. But what do you expect them to do with, a dialogue this horrendously bad, and in these costumes that are so laughable, and in these worlds, these big universes that is just CGI splooging all over the place. It looks like a PlayStation, looks like PlayStation 1, 2, maybe even 3 tops. You cannot get invested in any of this. None of this works. The makeup on them is terrible. The pacing is all over the place. No scene feels like it's fluent, that it's carrying on. No character feels like I want to go here because as a character they want to go here. I wanted to like it. I wanted to like it because I wanted superhero movies to live, but they are dead. They are dead. Let's wait until the late 2020s and maybe we'll get something good. But no, take a dump on this movie and its motherfucking ass. Oh. Out of all the movies, this is, besides Aquaman, I don't know, it's kind of a toss-up. But at least something that isn't super visual effects, I'd say this is definitely the most amateurishly done film of the year. I think the music is ungodly obnoxious. All the performances are just kind of standard. Dialogue is awful. There's no reason to put Ivan Drago back on the screen. And that ending is a total, complete joke. You don't need Sylvester Stallone in this movie. You don't need this movie in general. If you want a hybrid of Southpaw and Rocky 3, I don't know, I guess you'll get into it, but to say that this movie is even on the same groundwork as Rocky 3 or Southpaw, holy fuck. Yeah, this movie totally misses the mark on what it wants to be, or it just has the most bland way of thinking what it thinks it is. It's a total waste of time. Go and watch maybe the first 5 Rockies, but we gotta stop. This one, oh my fucking god. This one I watched with my mom, and I figured, okay, why don't we see it? She really wanted to see it, and since I was with somebody, I could not walk out of the theater. Because they're so fucking bad. Ah. Here it is. Ah. I'm not looking at it. I'm not gonna fucking look at it. Out of all of the... I'll give it this. There are two funny scenes. The very first joke you ever see is drop dead hilarious. The ending, where someone is supposed to die, that ended up getting me. Every single other joke I feel like I heard before. It's a pussy R rating, first of all. I mean, that was my problem with the first movie. And Logan, it's like, are you fucking serious? Like, this is your effort of an R-rated superhero movie? Like, every time it tries to be serious, it is... like, that was almost laughable compared to its jokes. Again, like, there's so many people who've done these jokes already. They have been in Robot Chicken. They've been in Deadpool. And again, dozens and dozens of YouTubers who at least have over 1 million subscribers. All of them. They've done it. They're giving us nothing. Deadpool is not interesting. He's not funny. Every single character is kind of there to be smug and grim, and they're not funny. They don't look like they're having fun. Whenever it's serious, they have nothing to bring. They have no weight to them whatsoever. And again, like I've been saying, when these types of movies try to get serious, it's insufferably bad. And this movie fails miserably as a comedy and as a superhero movie. A character who, of course, has to go through an arc. Because every single fucking character now has to go through an arc. I am so sick of this nonsense in these types of movies, especially a movie that pokes fun at these cliches, and I've already gone on this 1,000,000 times and I hate it. This was so hair-pulling. I'm literally pulling at my hair right now because I'm thinking about it. I was, for lack of a better way of saying it, I expected more, man. Characters are boring, it's not nice to look at, the action is substandard, kind of bland, the emotional scenes are so flatlined, the music is so annoying, it comes in and pops in at every single minute, every single shot in this movie. So there you have it. Woo! But it is New Year's Eve. So, let's get into the good shit. The actual fucking good shit that makes me feel alive. Things are good in the movie industry. We are solid, we are golden, we are silver, bronze, and fucking platinum. So, stay tuned. Who are we? Who are you? I'll see you in just a second.